Welcome back to the page, guys. I hope you're all well. So today we are currently sat inside of a Mitsubishi L200 and we're going to be getting into what we're going to be doing with this truck in just a moment. But there is a little bit of a plot twist with this job, or with the customer with this job, should I say. And I'm not sure how someone can have so much bad luck all in 1 week. Now, if you want to find out exactly what I'm getting at, then you'll be able to find that out later on in the video. But for now, let's get into exactly what we've got to do on this truck. So this L200 is in with me for a replacement turbo, or a reconditioned turbo. As you'll be able to see, the original one, the seals inside the turbo are leaking oil into the intercooler pipework, and obviously we don't want that to cause some serious damage if the engine runs up on its own oil. So like I say, today we are going to be getting the turbo removed off of this so we can send it away for reconditioning. Then once that's been reconditioned, we will get a new gasket kit, fresh engine oil, fresh oil filter, rest of the service kit. We'll get all that fitted and all that done, and then we'll be able to run the engine and we can then take it out for a test drive. But before we can do any of that, like I say, we do need to get this original one removed. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing now. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just grab some tools, cue the music, and let's get cracking. So that's the turbo removed from the L200, as you've already seen. Now the next job is this E46, which is in with me for a replacement radiator. But before we can get that fitted, we do have to turn our attention to this Ford Transit, which is in with me for a replacement starter motor. Now you'll be able to see on the screen that the original one is absolutely plastered in oil, and I'm not too sure what Ozzy finds so interesting about it. But after obviously getting the original one removed, as it is faulty, we got the new one fitted up, and while we were getting that done, we were having a chat to the customer who said he thinks he's got a coolant leak. So we checked the reservoir and it was absolutely bone dry. So after getting it topped up and jet washing off the engine to get rid of all that oil, as again, oil was absolutely plastered all over the starter motor, so it was all over the engine as well. And after allowing the engine to run to dry off, we noticed that we got a leak from the water pump. Now, we will be getting this fixed, but it's not going to be in this video, as I have got enough to be doing with the E46. So let's not waste any more time. Let's just grab some tools and let's get cracking. So now that we've got the radiator removed, you can probably see why this has been leaking. You can see there that the bottom of it is bent over. It has completely split the core along the bottom there. So that is absolute scrap. That will be going straight into the bin. And like I say, now that we've got this one removed, we can turn our attention to getting this nice new one fitted onto the car. So that's the new radiator fitted. We've got everything built back up. We've refilled the cooling system with coolant. We've got the engine running up to operating temperature. So what we're now going to do is we're going to let the cooling system bleed out any air. And once we've got all the air out the system, we'll be able to take this car for a test drive. So bleeding the cooling system is quite a boring and lengthy process, and I'm not going to make you sit there while we go through the whole thing. But to quickly sort of break it down, what you need to do is you need to allow the car to run up to operating temperature. And if you take a quick look at the dash on this E46, you'll see we are pretty much there. So once you get up to operating temperature, what I then like to do is turn the fans on, but I'll turn them onto slow so you can still hear what I'm saying. Turn the fans on, make sure that you've got nice hot air coming out the dashboard, make sure that the fan on the back of the radiator has cycled a couple of times, make sure that you're not overheating, and once you've sort of happy that everything is as it should be, make sure that the coolant level is at the maximum, and then you'll be able to take it out for a test drive. So like I said, I'm not going to make you sit there while we go through all of that, but we are pretty much at operating temperature, so I'm going to make sure that we've got no leaks, that we have got no air left in the system, that we've got the correct coolant level in it before we take it on a test drive. So the next time you see myself and this E46, we will be out on that test drive making sure that everything is as it should be. So we are having to change the plan ever so slightly with the E46, as like I said earlier on in the video, we were going to get the air bled from the cooling system and then we could take it down the road for a test drive. And as we were bleeding the air out the system, you'll be able to see that it did get a little bit too hot, and after doing some investigation work, we discovered that we had a scalding hot top pipe, but we had a stone cold bottom pipe. So that can tell me we've got an issue with one thing and one thing only, and that is the thermostat. So for those that aren't sure on how a thermostat works, the job of the thermostat is to control the flow of coolant around your engine. So what happens is, as your engine warms up to operating temperature, inside the thermostat there is a little sort of metal cylinder which is filled with wax, and as the engine heats up, it will in turn heat up the coolant inside of the engine. That will then melt the wax, which will then open the thermostat, allowing the coolant from inside the engine to flow through the pipework into the radiator. As you're driving along, the coolant gets cooled down by the air flowing through the radiator. Once it's been cooled down, it goes back into your engine and then the cycle continues. But unfortunately, we are going to have to wait until tomorrow to get a replacement thermostat for this E46. So tomorrow we will be back with a new one, and we can get this old one removed, we can get the new one fitted, and then finally we can get this E46 all bled up. So we're back with the E46. Now this morning I have tried to bleed the cooling system again, and unfortunately we were getting the same results this morning as we were last night. So we have got an absolutely scalding hot top hose, we've got an absolutely freezing cold bottom hose. So again, that is telling me that the thermostat isn't opening correctly and allowing the coolant to circulate around the system. Now, I did say that we would be ordering one from the suppliers. That has arrived. As you can see, it's here in my hand. It has got a new sensor in it, and we've got that thermostat just there, as you can see. Now, like I explained yesterday, the way that these thermostats work is inside this metal cylinder that is filled with wax. So as the coolant enters the housing, it will melt that wax down. It will allow the thermostat to open, which then will allow the coolant to pass through and find its way into the rest of the system. So because that thermostat is not opening, that is not allowing the air that is trapped inside the radiator to be pushed around the system and out through the bleed screw, and that is why we are having the issues that we're having. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be getting this one fitted onto the engine. So we have got to remove the cowling again for the airbox. We've got to remove the fan again. We've got to take the top pipe off. We've got the bottom pipe just down there. We've got this sensor plug just here. Then there are, I think, 4 bolts that hold it to the head. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, yeah. So that once we've got those 4 bolts off, we'll be able to remove that housing. We can get the new one fitted. We can refill it with coolant again, and then we can go again and try and get the air from the system. So now we've got the new housing and we know exactly what we're going to be doing. Let's not waste any more time. Let's just cue the music and let's get cracking. So we're out in the E46 and we've been out for a test drive to make sure that when we give the car back to the customer, it isn't going to be overheating and we're not going to be having any issues. Now, if I just pull over, you'll be able to see, I am nearly back at the unit, but if I just stop, you'll be able to see, if I bring the camera in, we have got no overheating on the gauge just there. And if we make sure we're in neutral, pop the handbrake on, if we jump out the car, we'll be able to have a quick look underneath and just make sure that, yep, we have got no leaks at all. So I am pretty happy that this E46 is all sorted. So all that's left for me to do is to get this E46 back to the workshop and I can give the customer a call and he can come and get this thing collected. So if this is the kind of content you like seeing and you're not already liking the page, all you got to do is hit that follow button. If you're already liking the page, hit that like button on the video. But for now, it is a wrap. As like I say, I'm going to get this back. I'm going to give the customer a call and he can finally come and get this thing out of my hair. So as always, thanks for watching, thanks for following, and I'll see you lot in the next one. All together, mint. Now, usually this is where the video ends, but if you cast your minds back to the start of this video, we were working on the Mitsubishi L200 and we were waiting for the turbo to come back from reconditioning. Now, if you take a look, you'll be able to see we have got that turbo just here that has been fully reconditioned. And if we take a look inside the box next to it, we've got a complete hardware and gasket kit from Mitsubishi, as you can see there, genuine parts. And I've also spent a little bit of time off camera cleaning up the coolant pipes along with the oil return pipe. As you can see, everything is nice and spick and span. And also off camera, we have cleaned up the mating surfaces for the exhaust manifold and the downpipe. And also, while we've got the access, as you can see, we have replaced the engine's oil filter. So now that we've replaced the engine oil and filter, we've cleaned up all the mating surfaces. We have also chased out the threads for the exhaust manifold. There's only one thing left to do, and we need to get that turbo fitted back onto the car. So let's not waste any more time. Let's just grab some tools and let's get cracking. So that's the turbo fitted back onto the engine. Now, before we think about connecting up the intercooler, we do need to remove it to make sure that there is no oil in there. Now, in order to do that, you'll be able to see that the intercooler is situated right there, right behind the front bumper. Now, I've never removed a bumper from an L200 before, so we are going to be doing this together. And from what I can work out, we've got a series of clips along the top just there. And if we come round to behind the wheel arch, we'll have some clips and fixings just inside here. So once we've got all those out, we should then be able to get this front bumper off. So let's not waste any more time. Let's just grab some tools and let's get cracking. Now, while I was removing the grills, I did think to myself, there is quite a bit of access to that intercooler once these grills are out the way. Now, this did get me thinking that if you take a look, you can see we've got the intercooler just here. Now, we've got one mount there, which we've got good access to. We've got the Jubilee clip for the boost pipe, which again, good access. We've got another boost pipe just here, which we've got one bolt there and we've got one on the other side. Or if we come back around into the engine bay, we have got the Jubilee clip for the boost pipe, which we could take off. And then again, if I bring the camera in a little bit further, you should be able to see just down there, we have got another mount, which if you look through the bottom grill is just through there. Now, what that's got me thinking is if we undo these two, I think they're 10 mils, yeah, 10 mils, that should give us a little bit more flex on the front of the bumper. Then if we can get to that mount through, if you look at the bottom, just through there, you should be able to see my hand. There we go. Yeah, if I can get my hand through there to be able to undo that mounting bolt just there, then like I say, I've got good access or good enough access to undo the two mounts this side. We can get this boost pipe off. Again, we can either undo it from there or we can undo it from inside the engine bay. Whichever's going to be easier to get this intercooler out without potentially having to remove the whole front bumper itself. So we're going to give it a try, as we're already here. We haven't got anything to lose by at least giving it a try. And if it saves us having to remove the whole front bumper, then it's nothing but a win. So let's give it a go. I think that should. Yes. Whoops. Yes. Will that come out of there now? Yes. My genius knows no bounds. Whoops. Spoke too soon. So that's the intercooler off, and luckily we didn't have to remove the whole front bumper, as you can see, just to be able to remove this. We did have to remove the one boost pipe from the left-hand side just there, as we didn't have enough room to get it through the gap. As you can probably see, just through there, it is quite tight. But nonetheless, you might have seen earlier on that we did find oil in the intercooler pipework just there. So we are going to go into the workshop now, but I'm going to have to keep this quite close, as I don't want you to see the M3 just yet, as it will kind of ruin the next video on it. But nonetheless, let's pour this upside down into the bucket and let's just see if anything is going to come out, as I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we go. It's starting to it is starting to pour out there, as you can see. There we go. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to let this drain for a little bit, and then once it's drained out, we can get it cleaned out, and then we can come back and we can get it refitted back onto the car. So if we cast our minds back to the very start of this video, you will remember that I said there was a little bit of a twist to this story, but there is a little bit of a plot twist with this job, or with the customer with this job, should I say. Now, that little twist is the fact that the Transit, the L200 and the E46 that we've repaired in this very video, they are all owned by the same customer. Now, just how bad has your luck got to be for all three of your vehicles to go down pretty much within a matter of days of each other? So if you've got luck, just like my customers, do me a favour and drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know just how bad your luck is as well. So after draining what was left of that oil out the intercooler and making sure it was nice and clean, as you'll be able to see, all that's left for us to do now is to get this Mitsubishi all put back together. So now that we've got that done, all that's left for me to do is to finally take this L200 down the road for a test drive. Now, you'll probably be able to see that I am sat in the car already, and if you take a look at the dashboard, we've got the engine up to operating temperature, we've got no warning lights, and we've got no oil pressure issues. So that is already telling me that everything is working as it should be. So I'm not overly worried as of yet, but I'm still going to take it up the road, make sure that the turbo is working as it should be. We've got no smoke coming out the back, and once I'm back to the workshop, we can check to make sure that we've got no leaks, and so long as I'm happy, I can give the customer a call and they can come and get this thing collected. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video just as much as I enjoy making them, and if you could spare 30 seconds to just hit that subscribe button for me, every and any bit of support from you guys is more than appreciated, and it helps me be able to keep making these videos for you guys to keep watching. So as always, thanks for watching, thanks for following, and I'll see you lot in the next one. Altogether, mint.